Are you doing the prayer song, Brahmara?
ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता अष्टादशोऽध्यायः मोक्षसन्न्यासयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच सन्न्यासस्य महाबाहो तत्त्वमिच्छामि वेदितुं त्यागस्य च हृषीकेश पृथक् केशिनिषूदन। श्रीभगवानुवाच काम्यानां कर्मणां न्यासं सन्न्यासं कवयो विदुः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः। त्याज्यं दोषवदित्येके कर्म प्राहुर्मनीषिणः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यमिति चापरे निश्चयं शृणु मे तत्र त्यागे भरतसत्तमा। त्यागो हि पुरुषव्याघ्र त्रिविधः सम्प्रकीर्तितः यज्ञदानतपः कर्म न त्याज्यं कार्यमेव तत्। यज्ञो दानं तपश्चैव पावनानि मनीषिणाम् एतान्यपि तु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलानि च कर्तव्यानीति मे पार्थ निश्चितं मतमुत्तमम्। नियतस्य तु सन्न्यासः कर्मणो नोपपद्यते मोहात् तस्य परित्यागः तामसः परिकीर्तितः। दुःखमित्येव यत्कर्म कायक्लेशभयात् त्यजेत् स कृत्वा राजसं त्यागं नैव त्यागफलं लभेत्। कार्यमित्येव यत्कर्म नियतं क्रियतेऽर्जुन सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा फलं चैव सत्यागः सात्विको मतः। न द्वेष्ट्य कुशलं कर्म कुशलेनानुषज्यते त्यागी सत्त्वसमाविष्टः मेधावी छिन्न संशयः ॐ तत्सत्
Should I start from the beginning or start from here? What is Tyaga?
Yeah, I think from what is Tyaga is fine, right?
Yeah,
We repeated the previous one a few times yesterday.
yeah, yeah, we did review it. Okay. What is Tyaga? Now, what is Tyaga? The other learned people, Vichak, Vichak, Vichakshanas, Vichakshanas say it's renunciation of the results of all actions. Sarva karma palatyaga. This rules out kamya karma. No one is going to perform a kamya karma for the sake of renouncing the karma pala. If he does, it's not a kamya karma. I may perform the same karma like Agnihotra or Jyotishtoma, but without expecting a result other than Antakarana Shuddhi. This is not looked upon as a result because it is not something other than myself. If in any other result, some obtaining prapti is involved. So in any other result, some obtaining prapti. What is prapti means? Like some obtaining prapti is involved.
Prapti means to receive.
Huh?
Prapti means to receive.
Oh, receive. Okay. In any other result, some obtaining prapti is involved. Punya is acquired and encashed as artha or kama. So the punya is acquired and encased as artha or kama. Rituals do not produce artha or kama directly. Even though I may perform a given ritual in order to get some money, the performance of the ritual itself does not immediately produce the result. In fact, money in the form of materials is made into ashes in the ritual. But the idea is that out of the ashes will come something unseen, adrishta, that which will produce situations that will perhaps help me gain what I want. That is punya, grace. Prayer has this capacity to produce what is adrishta, not visible, but which will accrue to the one who performs the karma and to the one who has the karma performed on his behalf. The yajamana. So I'll read this line again. That is punya, grace. Prayer has this capacity to produce what is adrishta, not visible, but which will accrue to the one who performs the karma. So the one who performs the karma and to the one who has the karma performed on his behalf, the yajamana. So it goes to both one who performs and to the one who has the karma performed on his behalf, the yajamana. That will transform itself into situations conducive for his achieving what he wants. So that will transform itself into situations conducive for his achieving what he wants. So go on to the next paragraph. Here, however, all the karmas are performed for the sake of antakarna shuddhi. which is not something other than myself, that has to be accomplished by an action. When the jiva, retaining his individuality, wants to accomplish something connected to himself, then he gains what we call karma pala. So when the jiva, I'll repeat this line, when the jiva, retaining his individuality, wants to accomplish something connected to himself, then he gains what we call karma pala. This antakarna shuddhi, however, is not a karma pala, because the very prayer itself is able to give antakarna shuddhi. In our Shastra, doing prayer or ritual for antakarna shuddhi, because it is not considered a karma pala, is called a karma pala tyaga. There is no pala kept in view, neither heaven nor artha, security, nor any form of kama, pleasure. What is kept in view is moksha, and moksha is yourself. How nicely explained, right? But it sounds simple, but it is a little complicated. So here they're explaining about tyaga. So by definition, renunciation of results of of all actions. That's called sarva karma pala tyaga. So if you do this tyaga, that is basically for antakarna shuddhi. And then if you're doing it for artha or kama, then that is the kamya karma that we read in the previous paragraph, but that's not what is said here, right? It's basically you're doing it, and that ritual, whatever we are doing, that becomes punya, and that in the form of adrishta pala, like adrishta, it's not visible. The prayer or whatever ritual will produce the adrishta pala. That will. So when you do that karma or the ritual, then that goes to one who performing himself by himself, also who's performed on his behalf, the yajaman. The two different, it goes to both the people. So that is more of a kamya karma. And then when you do the karma that is for the sake of antakarna shuddhi, that is helpful to clear your mind. Antakarna shuddhi. So you can do any prayer or ritual that is for antakarna shuddhi, that's not considered as that result of the action is taken as karma pala tyaga. So please share your thoughts on it. Tyaga, and then there is karma yoga, punya pala is conducive with spiritual process. That's the next one.
I
You want me to repeat anything? Yeah.
No. I like the point which is emphasized by Swamiji about the Antakarana Shuddhi and its Adrishta Phala. in the form of grace. Punya, I mean, it is by default, whatever you do without expecting anything, whether it is doing your prayer, Nitya, Nainitya, Karma, or whatever you do, whether it is Agnihotra or any other ritual, but when it is done without expecting anything, by default, you get the grace. So that assurance is so beautifully explained here by Swamiji that which will help us to transform the whole thing into a conducive situation, which will help us to progress on the path. So that's what I liked.
Yeah, for his achieving what he wants, he does. It's it it's called Antakarna Shuddhi, and that's pretty much what he said about that. But then in the above, in order to get so many, the performance of the ritual is performed, and then in fact the money in the form of materials made into ashes in the ritual, but the ashes will become some other unseen adrishta, which will produce situations which will help me gain what I want. I mean, in this particular place, the Tyaga only means for this. I have the doubt about, Tyaga means only for this moksha as a purushartha, or letting go the
Uh,
artha and so, the karma part also here.
yeah, as per my understanding, I believe it is like the not the way we do kamya karma, no, with expectation, something for some prapti. We do it for some gaining something. But here you are doing everything
You
without
renunciate
expectation.
to
That
the,
is,
yeah, Tyaga, by definition itself, renunciation of
yes,
the result of action. So we are not
correct.
expecting anything and we are doing
But
anything.
still,
And
you are getting that is what the assurance is here. That you, although you did
yeah,
not expect anything,
I
but
mean,
it,
you're not expecting it. I mean, meaning you're renunciating the whatever the result or the punya or whatever that is come out of this, uh, we we are submitting to the Bhagavan. And so then it becomes unseen situations that will give you some gain in what you want. Okay,
yeah. So
now I
here,
got it. Mm.
yoga kshemam vahamyaham, whatever is necessary will be provided to you. That assurance here is clarified. Bhagwan will take care whatever is required.
Yeah.
Hariom, uh,
Yeah.
can
Go
uh,
ahead.
can you can you differentiate this sarva karma sannyasa from tyaga? Like sannyasa, there is a put of knowledge also. Like one is uh, one is uh, following the path of self knowledge, but still renunciation of action is there. But in Tyaga, Tyaga is meant for the learned person or the common man. I did not read yesterday,
Mm.
could not get time, so it's not clear now. Yeah,
Vishakshanas.
Tyaga is
Vishakshanas.
yeah. So Tyaga is for the common person, or they are talking of the uh,
Yeah, I
the
think yeah,
aspiring.
it is used for both in a way, but for other learned people, sannyasi is sarva karma sannyasa, meaning like they renunciate all the actions, right, including the
Yeah,
nitya naimitya
including the self
karmas.
knowledge, including
No,
that
no,
self. No, like they
mm,
are following the path of attaining the knowledge of the self. No,
right,
sarva sannyasa, and
right.
and
This
and
Tyaga is for Karma Yogis. It's for
Yeah,
normal
that is
people.
what I
Yeah.
was like.
Because they may do all these yajnas and rituals and all that. But instead of having artha and kama in mind, they have only moksha as a purushartha, and the karma phala that accrues to them out of this is the antakarana shuddhi. And that Swamiji has mentioned is not a karma phala.
Yeah, it is gained
Adrishta.
simultaneously.
Yeah, unseen for. You had that one question, we are doing it for the family members and all that, right? Here it is given that will accrue to the one who performs the karma and also to the one who has the karma performed on his behalf.
Yeah, but my question was like, aren't we doing this action? Aren't we binding ourselves again with this Maya? Like again, the same relations would be there. My question was like, if we are doing something for somebody, whoever it is, maybe a family member or any like surroundings.
Yeah.
So aren't we binding ourselves again with because what we are giving, we will be gaining punya. So we will again have to come uh, to uh, to
That is your duty to help the people around you, right?
yeah, yeah.
That
So
will become your,
sometimes it is
yeah.
confusing that though you don't have
You are
desire.
identifying with that, that person or object, then it becomes binding. But when you are detached and then you are doing it for their welfare or some good deed, then it becomes dharma, whatever.
How to draw a line of detachment there when you are doing with your siblings or your like
Yeah, I mean,
you? Yeah, it's difficult,
you're
no?
not going to say my sister, my brother, my person. You are doing it for anybody else, like in the whole world, like we do think. Of course, that attachment going to be not completely, but we
Yeah,
have to train
you
our
can't
mind.
detach that detachment with like what we like. If any of the members in this group, if he or she needs our prayer and we are praying for that, that niswart bhav, it is that we are praying with this attitude and wholly we are wholeheartedly. But here also we are praying for
Even with our
wholeheartedly.
own body, right? So even for ours, myself, right? If I'm like not feeling well or some terrible things happening, then what I would do, God, please help me, like to get through this or give me the strength. So then, am I identifying with my body? Of course, so this is something we have to, that means I'm not the body, I'm not my mind, I'm not this. So how I am going to draw the line in terms of that, so uh, instead of saying my body, it's like this body, like something like that. Only we have to identify ourselves. Is that I think with this knowledge, slowly it may help, getting that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think that detachment will happen very
yeah,
smoothly, and we will not be able to know
yeah.
what I think. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's true. Okay,
Sorry,
Thank
you
you.
can pray for loka kalyanam, right? That will include everyone,
right,
which
exactly.
is what
So instead of wherever,
happens.
mm,
Uh, all
That's what
the
we do, no? Actually, we do that. Loka,
lokas,
samasta,
samastas,
sukhino.
bhavantu, yeah.
That
Yes, yes.
that itself
True.
is means we are praying for everyone.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. It is true. I mean, see, secular, like right now, I see something, right? Like in the news, like so many tornadoes, going on, and then every city, places they get destroyed. And look at this people, and things like that happening where the disaster, natural as well as man disaster, like the Gaza strip. I always pray for these people. Sorry, I couldn't do much with this. But then please, have them get through this problem or make peace or something to resolve the situation, right? I mean, I don't know. Whatever I can do in that type of prayer, like to bring peace or bring some solution. I mean, always you can donate some money or whatever, but then, or you think you can go and volunteer in places like that, it would be nice. But then, whatever it calls for.
First thing that gratefulness is
Mm,
needed, gratitude, always
right.
say that we are safe. We
No,
have woken up from the sleep daily.
exactly. That's what I was saying this morning when I was going for a walk, and I said, I
Yeah,
don't have any
we
complaints.
don't.
I have to just
Hmm.
to be happy, and I have everything. And
First,
look at,
first, if you have that, then
yeah.
automatic samastha will also come.
Mm, yeah. You have to think about other people always. Yeah.
And we have to, means prayers should be there for whatever is said.
Mm,
Prayers is intentions are very good. We have to keep good intentions or that will manifest. Prayer is required.
yeah.
Yeah, Hariom, I just want to, although here we are talking about the karma yogis, but I just want to put here the example of Sri Shankaracharya. Out of compassion, when he was a bhikshuk at the lady who was too poor to offer him bhiksha, and out of compassion he requested Ma Lakshmi, and it was Kanakadhara Stotra he said, and then there was the shower of, it is said that the shower of golden gooseberry.
Gooseberry.
So
Huh?
they do it for Loka Kalyan, it is not for their benefit. So that's what here. It is like when Dr. Mara very beautifully said that you feel helpless sometimes when you hear about the situation around whatever is happening in the whole world, and you when you can't do anything, but at least pure prayers can help definitely. Yeah.
Okay.
Even the chance of getting the seva is also his grace. So for that also we need to pray to the Lord only, that whatever in my capacity, please get the seva done also through this instrument.
I was thinking like a lot of times when I go out, they keep asking me, "Are you working? Are you working?" Then I feel like, am I not doing my duty, or am I sitting at home or not doing anything, or what's going on? Like today, I was when we are reading that yesterday, or we read somewhere like that. Yeah, Arjuna's question about when we are reading about his questions, he asked Bhagavan Krishna, what happens if they die before they do this? So we must have died in the previous Janma thinking about all this, and we left it somewhere. And now we have a chance to do this. So this is the reason we are pursuing pursuing this particular situation. All this commotion going around the world, but we are able to do something this for a couple of hours, um, and that is continuing, right? So I felt like that, like, oh, maybe this is what it is. And of course, we could have, we've been thinking about this, we are pursuing it. Mm, this is what God wants us to do, or something, that's how I felt it. by reading that question a couple of days ago.
Also, Dr. Mara, we read no, nothing happens without any reason or a cause. So some cause is there beneath. That is why the events are happening in this way. So
Yeah, true.
this knowledge, every time this knowledge uplifts our mind and make it stable. Whenever it gets agitated, the knowledge helps to bounce it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's really, then I convinced myself, okay, I better be honest and do this properly and take care of this, at least in this birth. Hopefully, I don't know where we get there, but we hopefully will get there. At least now we are clear about Antakarna Shuddhi, doing that as like doing prayer or something that you don't have to feel bad about, oh, I'm doing it for myself, right? That is, you can do that, the prayer or whatever the karma is done, that is considers karma pala tyaga. In our Shastra, this line here, in our Shastra, doing a prayer or ritual for Antakarna Shuddhi, because it is not considered a karma pala, is called karma pala tyaga. There is no pala kept in view, neither heaven nor artha nor security, nor artha, security, or nor any form of kama pleasure. What is kept in view is moksha. The moksha is yourself. So the moksha is myself. So I want to be free from this body, everything else. Yourself. It's so nicely written here. Oh my God. Okay. Shall we proceed? All right. Karma Yogi's Punya Pala is conducive to his spiritual progress. See, now it's coming up. Although the one who works purely for Antakarna Shuddhi, sorry, although one who works purely for Antakarna Shuddhi has already given up all the karma pala, still karma pala will be there. So he given up, but still the karma pala will be there. Suppose he perform all his nitya naimitya karmas only for Antakarna Shuddhi and then dies without gaining knowledge. Okay. And then dies without gaining knowledge. Then what will happen to the results of his karmas? Even though he did not want them, the result will be there in the form of spiritual punya. This can give him a situation from where he can get a better start in his pursuit. For everybody except the jnani, the karma pala is always there. Oh, so for everybody except the jnani, karma pala is always there. Even though the karma yogi has karma pala, there is no question of his obtaining a lower birth, adogati, in spite of the fact. Okay, I'll read this line one more time. Even though the karma yogi has a karma pala, there is no question of his obtaining a lower birth, adogati, in spite of the fact. In spite of the fact, 1 second. What is this? Spite of the fact that in his Sanchita karma, there are infinite possibilities. Theoretically, even karma yogi can take any kind of birth. So, what is to prevent him from taking a birth as a cockroach or a reptile? Oh my God! So theoretically, even the karma yogi can take any kind of birth, So what is to prevent him from taking a birth as a cockroach or a reptile? The karma done by him as a karma yogi is predominant. Karma done by him as a karma yogi is predominant. In your own store of karmas, certain ones come to the forefront because they have waited for a long time and now have to express themselves in the form of birth of a given body. But if you have started this kind of spiritual pursuit, living a life of karma yoga, and then die without gaining knowledge, these karmas cause all previous karmas to be overlooked completely and come to the forefront. Oh. Okay, one more
Can
time
you
I'll
repeat
read.
this line? Yeah, this line.
Yeah, right. I'll read it again. So I'll read from the question. The karma done by him as a karma yogi is predominant. Okay, that whatever karma is performed by the karma yogi is predominant. In your own store of karma, certain ones come to the forefront because they have waited for a long time, and now have to express themselves in the form of a birth of a given body. But if you have started this kind of spiritual pursuit, following a life of karma yoga, and then die without gaining knowledge, these karmas cause all previous karmas to be overlooked completely and come to the forefront. So if you really follow the spiritual pursuit, following the life of karma yoga, then
It is
So
dying,
that
like
means there is no adhogati. It was only forward evolution once you become a karma yogi, once you take to the path of moksha.
moksha. Yeah. The karmas done as a karma yogi are predominant. Okay, the karmas done as a karma yogi are predominant.
It is like the positive in the chromosomes. Means when you have a dominant gene, the recessive gene does not get expressed. So
Yeah.
similarly, once you become a karma yogi, it is like a positive. It's a dominant gene, and that is what is expressed, and that karma, that the karma phala from there will be expressed.
So the people who are not into the knowledge, their sanchit karma, that like it will they will be what will you say? They will be he will be born with that body, which is like which is suitable for that type of karmas. So it is there you will have to like the body will
Pursue the
decide. Yeah, the body will decide which type of karma it has to that it has to bhog karna, it has to
It is like
to
endure.
do
Yeah,
it with the karma yoga. Yeah.
yeah. So
we
if
pray.
a
Okay, let
person
me.
with knowledge, then he will that this good karma, that karma yoga, the spiritual pursuit, that karma will be highlighted, as Dr. Brahmra said, that will be remaining dominant. So that will in the next janma, that will come in the forefront. Whereas in other common person who are not doing any spiritual journey, there the body will decide which type of I
Not the
did not
body,
understand.
not the
I did not
body. Body doesn't decide. It
decide.
is
Karma, whatever
the
karma
karma.
you done,
Whatever
Karma.
karma, yeah. And see, Sanchita, even for a karma yogi, will remain. It's just that
Yeah,
this,
it will remain, but
it'll remain. This will come to
yeah,
the forefront. That will
yeah,
remain
that
as
will
long
remain.
as knowledge is gained. Till knowledge is
or
gained.
it may not remain, it may erase also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might erase.
Let's finish reading this paragraph, then
Okay,
we'll
okay.
decide
Right.
again. Okay. The karmas done as a karma yogi are predominant because they are spiritual. Okay. That is why it was said, gaining the worlds created by punya, living there for innumerable years, the one who is not accomplished in yoga is born in the home of the pure and wealthy, or in the family of wise yogis. So it can be both. Gaining the worlds created by punya, living there for innumerable years, the one who is not accomplished in yoga is born in the home of pure and wealthy, or in the family of wise yogis. Prapya punya kritan lokan ustiva sasvatihi samaha samaha suchinam srimatam keke yoga prashto abhij abhijayate atava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam. I think this is somewhere.
That's wonderful, the way you read it.
Yeah, thank you. His mind gets a connection to what he had started before in a previous body. So his mind gets a connection to what he had started before in a previous body. Buddhi samyoham labate paurava dehikam. Paurava dehikam, and he continues the journey. Let me see what is the oneness. Oh, Gita, 6th chapter, 41, 42. I think every paragraph is embedded with lot of stuff in this chapter, right? Lot of information.
Because this is summary, no? So we have to go back
summary.
and again revisit and understand it and
Yeah.
recall. That's how the process goes.
Yeah.
So the punya gained.
Basically, yeah, go
Yeah.
ahead.
6th chapter, 41 is okay. Prapya, okay. Prapya punya kritam, prapya punya kritam lokan, uchitva saspatihi samaha, suchinam srimatam kehe, yoga brashto bijayate. That one is the fallen yogi goes after death to the spheres of righteous, and after having lived there for unnumbered years, is reborn in this world in a pure and prosperous family. The next sloka is Atava yoginam eva kule bhavati dhimatam eta hi durlabha taram loke janmayati yad idrisham, or he is reborn in a family of man full of wisdom and spirituality. Rebirth under such conditions is passing hard to get in this world. Anyway, this is a different book that I'm reading from. So that's pretty much what we read here. His mind, it gets connection to what he had started before in the previous body. And buddhi samyoham labate paurava dehikam, then he continues the journey. This type of punya is different from that which fructifies as artha or kama. So this is the type of punya is different from that which fructifies as artha or kama. That is why astrologers will say you are in a bad period if you are in a situation conducive for a spiritual pursuit. Why would you say bad period? Astrologers will say you are in a bad period if you are in a situation conducive for a spiritual pursuit. From the material standpoint, it is true. You may be displaced from your home or have no job, but I would say it is a Punya Kala, a good period for you to learn, to grow. In all other periods, you are just drudging, breathing. If you do not accomplish something worthwhile, I would say the whole period is just a period of survival. That's right. Okay, I'll read this again, a line again. If you do not accomplish something worthwhile, I would say the whole period is just a period of survival. But this is the period where a person has the luxury to look at himself. That is a great luxury. Any other thing like a big house, etc., is not luxury at all. If you have time to look at yourself, that leisure is the greatest luxury then that one can have. Wow. Okay, let me continue to read. Unless you guys want me to repeat anything, let me know, please. One is given to this pursuit due to some punya created by certain special karmas. So one is given to this pursuit due to some punya created by certain special karmas. They can be the results of nitya naimittika karma done by a seeker who has not accomplished what he has to accomplish. His prayers have a spiritual content. If what he wants to accomplish is free from artha and kama, it is definitely a spiritual desire. If he wants to change, that is also a spiritual desire. This is not an ordinary desire because people do not want to change. They want the whole world to change so that they can be comfortable. But if I want to change myself so that I can be comfortable with myself, that is an urge for a spiritual change. And this urge has to come from somewhere. I'll read this line one more time. But if I want to change myself so that I can be comfortable with myself, that is an urge for a spiritual change. And this urge has to come from somewhere. Why doesn't everybody have it? It is not driven merely due to mental pain. Because not everybody who has mental pain turned spiritual. He can turn to drugs and alcohol or crime or end up in the hospital. Or he can be a vagabond. There are hundreds of options. The process of change implies a certain pain. The process of change implies a certain pain. Perhaps the painful situations themselves are part of the whole game plan of a change. But the urge to change is born out of nitya naimittika karmas that have been performed previously for the sake of antakarna. Antakarna Shuddhi. Any prayer to change oneself is a spiritual prayer. Very nice. Okay, again, any prayer to change oneself is a spiritual prayer. In Alcoholics Anonymous, one of the steps is to accept a greater power than yourself. One of the steps is to accept a greater power than yourself. Another is to hand over everything to that power. They have sayings like, let go and let God. Very nice. Let go and let God. This is an attitude that involves letting go of your attempt to control situations. Letting go of your attempt to control situations. Okay, I'll read this line again. This is an attitude that involves letting go of your attempt to control situations and letting God decide. Now, this is very difficult thing, for he does not know what God is. This prayer, I would say, is spiritual. It's not for artha or kama. It is for a change. That is a real prayer, born of a mature heart. That is a real prayer born of mature heart. And that prayer itself is born of some punya. Therefore, nitya naimitya karma done purely for antakarna shuddhi is called tyaga. So, therefore, nitya naimitya karma done purely for antakarna shuddhi is called tyaga. In this verse, Bhagavan has briefly answered Arjuna's question about the difference between sannyasa and tyaga. Sannyasa is the giving up of all kama karma, and tyaga is the renunciation of the results of all actions. Now there is contention which is introduced by Bhagavan himself. It's so nice.
So basically, a karma yogi is one who continues doing his nitya naimitika karmas for the with only antakarna shuddhi in mind, and he has this tyaga embedded in it. He is not after artha and kama. He's only keen on moksha. And that amounts to karma phala tyaga. Whereas a sannyasi is absolved of doing the nitya naimitika karmas, but he is also pursuing knowledge. So he is sarva karma sannyasi, sannyasi is. But then again, amongst the sannyasis, Swamiji has made a mention, it's not just renouncing rituals, but it is out of jnana that he renounces it, that he is not the doer.
Dr. Brahma, just go back that there's the other next paragraph, the earlier one.
Which one you want to
No,
read?
it's on the screen. No, the earlier one, not the
Second paragraph, this type of
sorry.
punya.
Here?
Again, go back.
No, page
Go back.
number 180, I think he's asking.
Okay.
180, yes. 180.
Second paragraph, this type of punya.
No, the other
Okay,
one. No, here the pursuit follows. No, not this type of punya. Earlier one.
Okay. Earlier to this paragraph?
Yeah. Sanchita karma,
Okay.
there is infinite possibilities. What is
Okay,
tyaga?
I'll read.
He says
Okay,
no
from
that
here.
that the change
Right.
will come into the life, and it
Mhm.
depends upon your sangha, means where you follow. See, there are many people whose time is not good. They say no, the time is not good.
Oh, you are talking about this paragraph. One is given this pursuit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay, you want me to? Okay.
I am experiencing. I have experienced this.
Right.
In 2002, my children and they wanted to shift from the Saudi Arabia to India. So that time only my Sadesati has started actually, and there were so many ups and downs of my company and all that things were happening. But 2002, I did the course Art of Living and started doing seva, completely, because in Saudi Arabia, you cannot do any seva there publicly. So I was into this Art of Living. Then because my family came back and my family house there in Saudi Arabia, it was free. I started recording all these cassettes of Guruji. Those time cassettes were there. Those time like this, it was not there. Online, nothing was there. So I started recording and distributing the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. I started the this one, Ashtavakra Gita in my house, and everyone used to come, you know. So I was into this seva, and this that absolved my all sadhisati I felt. I didn't feel at all. Otherwise, they say the sadhisati will make you very, very this. But because of my spiritual sangha, means association, it was, the earlier stage was very difficult, but I don't know, because of Guruji, it just took, and I was not even able to do the this one, cooking and all that. I started cooking. I did so nice cooking. There in Saudi Arabia, you don't get the cooks. So all that happened, and ultimately I went into Bahrain also. And TTC, everything, you can ask Brahmraji. I was into this only. After the work, I used to do only the art of living services, going to the teacher, that, this, etc. So this, the bad time helped me to come into the spiritual knowledge, and I did not feel the sadhisati at all. And again, I came back at the end of the sadhisati to the home, and that was reward for me. So this really, I can tell you, see, many people, and I have seen the reverse also, many people who have gone into the trouble, the bad time, they go into the alcoholic or drugs or whatever. They have to go through that karma. So I was lucky to have fallen into the association of art of living those times because of my earlier that what is that? Nitya
Nitya karma. Like
because of that. Because I used to pray.
You gain the punya. You gain that punya of doing that Nitya Naimitya karma. And that Antakarna Shuddhi happened. That is why when in the adverse situation, you did not turn to alcohol, you turned to the seva and
no, because there it was not possible. That is different thing. I didn't touch alcohol at all. That is there. But I have seen many people doing that also, drugs, that, this, etc., and perishing very badly. But because of this Nitya Naimitya karma, and I don't know, because of the earlier punya, I had been in 1998, before 2022, to Balaji temple. And there was my uncle was there. He gave me this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Swami Prabhavananda, you know. And I had been to Delhi also. There I visited the Sabarmati ashram, the ashram of Gandhiji there. And I picked up that book of Experiencing with the Truth, My Experiments with the Truth by Gandhiji. I read that. That gave me an impact. And I started reading this Patanjali Yoga Sutra in 1998, August 1997, 98 now. I have written that here. Since then, I started reading. Wow, so much change. And because of that, I was associated with the Art of Living group in 2020 when my actual bad time was there. And I picked up and became teacher and all other things. This is very true. What Swamiji has written, very, very true. This is how the progression of our spiritual progression, my progression happened. I was in Bahrain, I was into only the art of living. After my work, I was into that. Going to that teacher, going to this teacher, going here, satsang and all other things, helping, all other things only. There I could get a maid for cooking.
Yeah.
That was very good.
So basically, here this one sentence is really good. Like, I want to change myself so that I can be comfortable with myself. That is an
so
urge
good.
for a spiritual change. Okay, so whatever you did, that is to feel comfortable ourselves. So we couldn't be comfortable within our body, so that push you to do certain things, to
No, from childhood we were there into this line. I had
right there. It's
this
true.
one.
Yeah,
But
but
that
then
helped, that punya
yeah,
helped
but
me.
then to go into the deep like this, most people, yeah, we also did slokas and we pray every morning, we do the puja and whatnot, that's been a regular thing as at where was we are growing up. But then, I mean, really spending time to understand what knowledge is, what is the spiritual path is, and trying to understand the whole religion. I always felt like, how come Christians, they have Quran, and I mean the Bible, and the other people have Quran. What are we supposed to read? We have so many books to read. And finally, getting to Gita, I have like at least 10 different books of Gita, because whatever I read, I couldn't understand. But now it's really getting.
For me, it was that experiment with truth by Gandhiji was a change. It impacted me very much. Then reading the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, I have still kept that book. Then I attended. Then this Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they used to come in the audio cassette. Then I used to, audio cassette, I used to record those whole night and all that and distribute to our friends in the Saudi Arabia. Such works we did. And Seva, there it was not at all there. Art of Living, and there was only one teacher, Milind sir, Milind and Vandana ji. They came and we started doing, and we started center here, there, everything. The Sangha came very nice, and I did not feel the pinch of, even small pinch of Sadesati which I am going through. And this is very,
Basically,
very
that was the Punya Kala, no? That was the Punya Kala.
Punya Kala.
Yeah. It was a good period for
very,
to
very
learn,
good period.
to grow.
So good.
Yeah. It was.
Really.
And because of the Guru grace, you could do that. And it's a sentence, no? Gurudev says कि in a bad time, काल आएगा, लेकिन तीर आएगा, लेकिन वो टोपी उड़ा के लेके जाएगा, आपका सर
Then
नहीं.
I met Swami. He used to come to Saudi Arabia from Bahrain. And then, I don't know, see, here there was no lot of chance to openly do satsang and all that. I was put into Bahrain, and Bahrain was buzzing with satsang and so much. Ask Brahmaraji, so wonderful it was. And I just enjoyed the stay in Bahrain, 2 to 3 years. Wonderful it was. And completely into the spiritual. I used to go to the temple, there, this, I was alone. But my family used to come on vacation and all that. They used to enjoy. Satsangs were there.
Yeah, this is the second sloka, right? So you want to kind of summarize and or go over the 8 to 6. How this is different.
The important part of these two paragraphs is the importance of Nitya Naimitika Karma in one's life.
Mm.
Even if it's a small thing as just chanting Om, but doing it regularly with the intention of wanting to change from within and not to change the world to suit our needs. That little path, even that is important. But you
Right.
do it regularly. It could even be just sitting up in bed and doing 10 Ujjayi breaths. I understand the importance how Gurudev has given us a take, a to-do thing every day. Sudarshan Kriya, for instance, meditation. These actually also amount to Nitya Karma. You're doing it on a daily basis. And this, the Adrishta Phala that comes out of this, is the one that kindles the urge for a person to change from within. And whatever Sureshji has explained right now, instead of taking to the negative, methods of getting out of a bad phase, he took to the sattvic route, the spiritual route. So doing Nitya Naimitika karmas is what is going to give you the urge to get on to this and continue on this path. And once you're on this path, there is no looking back. It is the blueprint is set for moksha. So it is only an upward evolution. So that much of reassurance Krishna is giving us.
But one thing more, Dr. Brahmra, like
Yeah.
the prayer, like it is also born of some punya, no? Like even everyone knows that we should pray, but some do prayer, some do not pray. So it is also, it is sometimes I feel it is not in our hands. Like even though everyone knows it, but one is not able to do and one is doing. So it is again that punya which
Adrishta
we have.
phala, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So maybe until unless that good you have not gained that punya at such level, that you have gained so much of punya, after gaining that, then only you can pray. I think this is also one of the major factor, like uh, that is why everyone cannot do prayer. So in this also the line written, and the prayer itself, it is born of some punya. So after doing that seva and uh, uh,
maybe that's why we have to say Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu and for Loka Kalyan, because then it is actually you're sharing that the punya with the whole. You want everyone to be happy. So maybe that is what will help. Even if a person is not praying, it is because of this collective prayer.
Yeah.
It will apply even to them, that those that don't pray.
Yeah.
Influence
One
them.
thing
And
I do want you
some,
to know, like when you're doing this prayer before we starting this group, I think it's one, even though Dr. Brahmara, Taylor, whoever's singing it, I like to, you do it within your mind, or of course, we are muted. We can sing it also along with all those prayers that we are doing about anytime, even in Vishnu Sahasranam, after you pray the Ganapati, Shri Ganapati, then he says you have to bow to all the gurus. So that's why they talk about Vasishta, his Bauta, his son, his grandson, and all that. Then Vyasa, we bow to all of them. We say, then we going into saying about this namas. So here we do the Guru Stuti and then Shankaracharya, and then we are sharing the Sagana Bhavatu. It's almost like we include everybody in that also, right? At the end, of course, we are finishing with the Loka Samasta. Even that is another prayer that we are doing. Apart from we are doing it on our own home, we are doing like 10 of us or 15 of us in the same class and we are doing the prayer. Even the Bhagavan, what is that sloka that we do? Nirvana Shatakam or Brahmanjana. I think Brahmanjana only. After that, in the end, it says Loka Samasa Sukhino Bhavantu. Even that one also. The tape also says that. It's so nice. So every day it's ingrained in our mind that we do it naturally like that. But you said, Dr. Brahma, very nicely that we have to remember Nitya Naimittika Karmas. One thing, I mean, of course, here there are 4 types of
I
karmas.
remember, Nana had said, whatever you choose, even if it's just chanting a shloka or a chapter of Bhagavad Gita, whatever you choose as your Nitya Karma, do it every day without a break.
True. Sometimes you take the break. That's a problem. we have to keep doing it. That's another thing, we have to create that group again for chanting, Gita chanting. So once we do that, we could
No,
put
this punya is really, if I see myself, this one, it's really hidden, what you call that punya, hidden
Adrishta Phala.
obviously,
Adrishta Phala.
obviously it is protecting us.
So good,
Definitely.
so protecting.
Yeah, so many
because
people.
you see,
Yeah.
I went to the Balaji temple. I met the uncle for the first time, and what he gave me that Patanjali Yoga Sutra, and there was nothing there in Saudi Arabia. They don't allow all this thing. So I started reading it, and that time only 97. I know, August 2098, I left tea, coffee, milk, fizzy drinks, etc. That time only, August 20, 1998. I remember it. Non-vegetarian, no eggs, nothing. it changes so much. It changes so much.
That's very nice.
And that Sangha, it will come. You see, I went to the temple. I had not met that uncle because we got some reference and we went there and that uncle turned me. So you get that Sangha automatic, because of your punya. You will be given the chance. If you don't use it, that is different thing again. So how this karma really wonderful,
Dr. Mara, can I just request you to just read the subheadings for this shloka too? There were subheadings, no? Each paragraph had a subheading. You're muted, I think. We can't hear you.
Sorry, I was muted. Sri Bhagavan said, the wise know sannyasa is renunciation of actions for desired objects. The learned people say renunciation of results of action is tyaga. So the subheading is the karmas told by the Vedas. So those were like 4 karmas.
Yeah, this is the Naimitika, Nishiddha Karma, Prayaschitta Karma, right? And Kamya Karma.
Yeah, Nitya Kamya Karma is because of the end in view, then that becomes Kamya Karma, Artha, whatever that thing is. The second one is, what is sannyasa? What is sannyasa? So sannyasa is that sarva karma sannyasa, renunciation of all actions.
It's not just renunciation of actions. Here it is also
including all the...
He has only moksha in mind, number 1.
By knowledge, yeah. So here there was a big description, right? Like we have to say giving up nitya naimittika karmas in accordance with the vidhi.
Yeah, that is the whole process of how he's made into a sannyasi is described.
Sannyasa. Yeah.
He goes to a teacher and then that, he gives up all the
Mhm.
nitya naitika karmas. And
Right.
it's only pursuit of knowledge. All else he
Yeah, so that's what the
satisfies.
difference is. Like, it's not just non-performance of kamya karma and nitya naimitik karma. It is real sannyasa is sarva karma sannyasa, which is purely knowledge. So that, and then this last one is
Can you
tyaga.
can you just go to the sannyasa, the last sentence?
Last sentence is, this is the last sentence. This is
No,
what we call sarva karma
yeah, the
sannyasa.
one sentence before that.
Before that, okay.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Real sannyasa is sarva karma sannyasa, which is purely knowledge. It has nothing to do with giving up karma, but is purely in the form of knowledge. So, so here is the question, how do we know this is sannyasa, right? And then the Kavi says, according to the wise person who's seeing things clearly, is Dirghadarshi. But then some of them understand non-performance of kamya karma and nitya naimitya karma to be sannyasa, known as vividesha sannyasa, renunciation of action backed by a desire to know. That is different type of the sannyasa. Real sannyasa is sarva karma sannyasa. That means you are not, doing any action except there's just purely knowledge. It has nothing to do with giving up karma, but is purely in the form of the knowledge.
So sannyasa does not mean giving up
Yeah.
action. It is purely in the form of.
I mean, they do some karma, but then that is kind of detached type of, right? I mean, they still do the action, but that's different type of action,
They
right?
are pursuing only knowledge. That is number one.
Yeah.
And they don't have any of these desires. There is no kamya karma for them.
Mm-hmm.
So no one can stay without doing action. So it doesn't mean giving up action is sannyasa. It is out of pure understanding that it's only for the pursuit of knowledge. So giving up all other karmas with the with knowledge as the end, that is sannyasa.
Right.
So
And he
grahastha can
all the
also
nitya
become
naimitya karmas.
no, grahastha also can, if he follows the knowledge, is equivalent to a sannyasa.
He can't be. Grihastha has his duties to do, right?
No, let him do. Need not have
No,
to
then he's a
renounce.
karma yogi. He's not a sannyasi.
Sannyasa.
Which is why the difference, the two lifestyles, right? So grihastha cannot become a sannyasi, as in he
No,
has to
ultimately
continue
the
doing his
knowledge
nitya
will take over.
naimitya
No,
karmas,
no,
which is
ultimately
true.
the knowledge will take over.
Which is true, but he is continuing to do his nitya naimitya karmas.
That is
But
that.
the sannyasi is absolved of doing that.
No, if you are purely knowledgeable, you need not have to do the other karmas if it is.
Then you become a sannyasi, you're not a grihastha then. You change your ashrama. So ashramas are there, 4 ashramas.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not.
Maybe Suresh ji is mentioning the state of mind. Maybe state of mind is like a sannyasi.
Yeah, I wanted
But
to
still,
be
you will have to perform the karma, being a grahastha. But maybe the state of mind is of a little bit sannyas.
knowledgeable, no, completely
Yeah.
following the knowledge.
Okay, so sorry, that next topic was that Tyaga, I think. Let me get that page again, 1 second.
Brahmaraji, actually, if we see in deep, it is practically, it seems very, very difficult to follow the sannyas path. It's
Yeah.
Why is it
in
not
real
moving
sense, in real this thing, unless
Why talk
until
of sannyasa? Even being a karma yogi is difficult. And if you to be a true karma yogi, it takes a bit of effort for you to live a life of a karma yogi, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah.
Karma
So
yogi
But
itself
the,
at
is
least
difficult. So
at
what
least
to talk of sannyasa?
it looks achievable.
so the next line
Karma
is the
yogi is more difficult to pursue, I think, being a karma yogi.
karma yogi itself a difficult one, and then
Yeah,
talk about sannyasa is different. Anyway, the next subheading is what is Tyaga, and the last one is Karma Yogis. Punya Pala is conducive to his spiritual progress. So, we read about what is karma, and then according to Veda, how many types of karma there, and then the Karma Yoga also been described in that one, right? And then what is sannyasa, and then what is Tyaga. In some karma yogis, punya pala is conducive to his spiritual progress. That is almost whole page, 2 pages of information. It's pretty good.
Actually, we can make a table, differences between sannyasa and a karma yogi.
Yeah.
Apart from these two differences, nitya naimitika karmas and sarva karma falatyaga, sarva karma sannyasa, karma falatyaga is there in both. That is a common factor. The sannyasi
Sarva karma pala
has
tyaga,
that
right?
abhaya. He is not in competition with anybody out there. That is why he is able to give that abhaya. Nobody needs to fear from a sannyasi. Whereas a grahastha is still in the I'm talking of a grahastha, not a karma yogi, is still in the competitive world there. So the sannyasa also does, he has only loka hita as his goal. He is not doing anything for himself. Like look at Gurudev. He doesn't want anything for himself. He is of course an enlightened master. So, and at a point, there are two kinds of sannyasis. No, the sannyasi is already a jnani. Then there's no difference between him and Bhagwan. They're the same. He becomes, once he realizes, that is it. So that is why time and again, although Arjuna had this question coming up and this confusion, sannyasa and karma, Krishna was so clear about it. For Arjuna, what was set out for him was to do his dharma as a kshatriya.
so we can say that Vividisha sannyasa plus if we add knowledge to it, it will become sarv karm sannyasa, right?
Yeah. See, we have so many people out there. If you go to places like Rishikesh and along the banks of Ganga, you have so many people who just take to ochre robes and they sit there. But are they real sannyasis because they've worn those orange robes and they've given up their karma? No, it is not, right? So that is backed, what is backed by, after having given up those, backed by knowledge and in the pursuit of knowledge, that becomes a real sannyasa. And there are categories also in the sannyasa.
They didn't go into that.
That
in this
yeah,
one, right?
we had that in the first few chapters of the Gita, I think.
Gita.
Apat Sannyasa, Vividisha Sannyasa, and Vidvat Sannyasa. I think there were 3 types of sannyasa. Vidvat Sannyasa is someone who's already attained the knowledge. No difference between him and Jnani.
With lot of previous janmas, karma yogis and doing all the practices for many lifetimes, such people only are the real sannyas. They really become the proper sannyasis. Otherwise, all of us, we are karma yogis only. Because suddenly some children, even at such a young age, they take into sannyasa. It seems very this thing, but their previous lifetimes, so many following knowledge, and they are so ripe to become sannyasi at such a age. Otherwise, that is a very 1 in a million, maybe 1 in million must be becoming
their antakarna has been purified by their own practices. So
long time, so many lifetimes, you can say.
Yeah, so when the antakarna is pure, then it will manifest in the early stage only. They will catch on to this thread of spirituality.
Right.
Well,
Otherwise, even they cannot accumulate even the next meal also. They have to be like absolutely, there is no pocket in their clothes and nothing, just bhiksha, and that bhiksha only at a one-time meal. Even the next time meal, they don't know. That much they have to depend on the completely surrender themselves. It is practical.
Nirashrita.
Even not to plan or not to parigraha, even of the next meal also. That
And
much they have
aniketa.
to.
Aniketa means no permanent home.
It is even
do you want me
thinking
to?
this way is very impractical. Sorry to say that.
Yeah, Jai Gurudev, we'll stop here today. Dr. Mara, you were saying something?
No, I wasn't sure. I think I got disconnected by sharing this thing.
Okay.
So should
You
I
can
play any
Maya
other?
Panchakam is what you can play.
Maya Panchakam, okay.
Tomorrow is Shankar Jayanti. Bela has this beautiful suggestion that we can honor and remember Adi Shankaracharya on his birth anniversary by picking up a shloka of choice and then sharing the knowledge. We can either do that. I think that's what is wonderful. We can also chant a few of his compositions. We will listen to the Nirvana Shatakam. And yeah, I think that is what we'll do tomorrow. But of course, we'll continue the Gita. Maybe we'll do Gita for about half an hour and then we'll cater the remaining part to celebrating and honoring Adi Shankaracharya. What you can share your suggestions in the group, we'll take it forward.
Tomorrow is my follow-up day. I may not be able to attend.
Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
निरुपमनित्यनिरंशकेऽप्यखण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये घटयति जगदीश जीवभेदं त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया श्रुतिशतनिगमान्तशोधकानपि अहह धनादिनिदर्शनेन सद्यः कलुषयति चतुष्पदाद्य भिन्ना न घटितघटना पडीयसी माया सुखचिदखण्डविबोधमद्वितीयम् वियदनलादिविनिर्मित्ते नियोज्य भ्रमयति भवसागरे नितान्तम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया अपगतगुणवर्णजातिभेदे सुखचितिविप्रविडाद्यहङ्कृतिं च स्फुटयति सुतदारकेहमोहम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया विधिहरिहरविभेदमप्यखण्डे बत विरचय्य बुधानपि प्रकामम् भ्रमयति हरिहरविभेदभावान् घटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया